So now we move on to the last section. We've been making good time, and we have about 20 minutes to take questions. I request, I see a lot of questions have already been posted. If you have any questions, use the Q&A button on Zoom and type in your questions. I now invite Dr. Shiv Kumar to kind of ensure that these questions get addressed to the right speakers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Divya. And some of the questions have been very kindly answered by Dr. Ramesh, sir. But then I'll just go to some of the questions. I think Netaji Eye Hospital's question is partly answered with Dr. Madhushekar's presentation. If you get a spherical power, how to find the problem? Is it because of biometry? Mostly yes, but it can also be a safety error, like I said. It could belong to a wrong patient. And I think which keratometer is recommended, sir has answered that it's very difficult to do it. I think the question is asked twice. It's difficult without a fixation, but once you get a fixation, that's fine. Now, this P is equal to A minus 2.5 L minus 0.9 K is basically the SRK formula. And as sir had said that this led to problem when we looked at the regression, and then the regression formula came in, which was the SRK2, and after that came SRKT. So this is the basic SRK formula on which the rest of it is based. But what we use now is SRKT. And the long and short definition also, sir has been kind enough to answer. So less than 22 and more than 26 are considered to be short and long eyes. I'll just, the important question, one of them here is about the post-classic. I would like sir to say about it in person for once, sir.
If to unmute.
Sorry. So which one is the post-classic question? I'm sorry.
Without previous history, post-classic and post-BRK.
Okay. So there are a lot of different options. The easiest option is to get the true power of the cornea. So we always incorporate the posterior cornea, and we have a ratio called the Gulstan ratio. So when we say K reading of 44, what is happening? We are measuring the actual K, and we are imagining the posterior K is a -6. We are adding both, and we are telling it is 44. What we are measuring is not really 44. So you need to get the true K, the actual K reading. All tomographers can give you this value. If you want the best formula, it is a true K formula, and you can use Barrett's true K formula for this. If you go to the ACRS website, they will ask for various questions. If you don't have the previous history, it doesn't matter. They will ask you the K reading from Atlas, or from the OptoView, from a tomographer that you have, K reading from a manual keratometer, automated keratometer, the axial length, ACD. So they'll ask you for various data. Whatever data you have, you can enter into the ASCRS online calculator. ASCRS online calculator has got various sections. One of them is a post-LASIK or post-refractive surgery section. So if you go there, it will capture all the details that you have with you, and then it will calculate. This was explained beautifully by one of the previous panelists also. So the previous panelist said that the error is usually on the plus side, and so you should take the highest number, and you can choose the most the highest power which comes up. So that is a very good option. The other option is, if you're very sure about your values, you can ignore the extreme values. The highest and the lowest values can be ignored, and you can take the average of the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And now we come on to the other questions which have not been answered. One of the question is, which mode is the best, and when do we need to change the mode? I believe the first part of it is applicable to the ultrasound, and we know that the immersion mode is the best as compared to applanation, because you can have a compression on the cornea and a long axial length with applanation. When do we need to change the mode? I believe that question is related to what I had spoken about, and that is about if you're going in for a secondary IOL, then we need to choose the aphakic mode. We need to select the aphakic mode. In case we are going to exchange an IOL, we need to go to the pseudophakic mode. If it is a post VR surgery, vitreoretinal surgery, then we'll have to see if there is silicone oil, and if there is silicone oil, we'll have to go to the silicone oil mode. And of course, if we see, when we have a very flat K, then we have to always have this in mind that it could be post-refractive surgery, and we have to ask for history. And if there is a laser correction done, then we'll have to go accordingly with these ways of calculating for post-LASIK. And we'll need to change to the LASIK laser vision correction mode on the optical biometers. Sir, about the long and short eye formula, Ramesh sir.
I think it was explained well in the talk itself. And I think you can go back into that. So short eye, generally, half a Q is better. And for long eyes, SRKT is accepted to be the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Madhu, how did you select the new A constant, or was it a guess?
In that A constant, we have to optimize. We have to change it slowly, and then we have to see whether it is a spherical equivalent is coming close to 0, in which first we have to see our result, that where is your spherical equivalent. Then you have to optimize slowly, shifting towards plus side or minus side, and you see that which side you are having better spherical equivalent, and then you choose, and then you can. It is not like that same that you have to use. You have to again recheck your result after using that A constant.
So I would also like to add that find out the mean refractive error with your sign. You find out whether you are on the myopic side or on the hypermetropic side, and algebraically add it to your A constant. So, like suppose you are getting a constantly, you're getting a mean of minus 0.5. Add that to the A constant. If it is 1 on 8.5, now it becomes 1 on 8 for you. You use that as your new A constant. So you can algebraically add the mean of whatever you are getting, and then you can do it. Ramesh sir, I hope I'm right.
Yes, absolutely.
So that will give you a guideline. You can recheck after that. It may be 0.4 or 0.5. That you can recheck. Sorry, sir. Like this is an international webinar, so we can't use Hindi. Then yes, sir, Ramesh sir, I would like this also. Like, what are the techniques used for while dealing with a patient with this diagnosis? I think this has been asked twice.
Dr. Shivakumar, you'll have lots more experience than me, so I want to listen to your views. Please tell us.
If needed, I would rather go for doing it under a block with the patient's consent. Administer a block to the patient, explain it. And if it is possible, do it. Non-contact is probably not possible. Therefore, I would do it a previous day also. Give a safe block like a subtenance, which can then be repeated again. So that is one way of dealing with it. Is there anything else, sir? We can actually make the patient look at a null point, but that again, we may not be able to adjust our instrument to that position.
I was also thinking of the same. We should move the patient's head and bring it to the position where the movement is least. And actually, even though the movement is there, we should be able to get 1K first and then the other. The other option is, if they're not willing for a block, you can actually give nice topical anesthesia. After it is nicely taken up, put a drop of methyl cellulose, and then use a forceps to fixate the eye and rapidly take the measurement. So that will all be approximate. It won't be perfect, but it should be possible.
So what are the effects of dry eye on biometry readings? Sir, your question.
Of course, there will be a lot of effects, and when you look at the K, you can diagnose. When you look into the keratometer, we can easily diagnose dry eye. You won't get good crisp Myers. So in these patients, if you see possible, you can optimize the tear film and bring them back. Mostly it is not possible. We can't tell the patient treat for dry eye for 1 month and come back. Our patients will find it difficult. So what I normally will do is do the blink, 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 make the patient blink 3 times, open the eye wide, don't blink, don't blink, don't blink, and capture the measurement. You can use very thin watery tear replacement drops and wait for a few seconds and make them blink it out, and then you can take.
Thank you, sir. How can we do optimization of A constant, and how is optimization related with ELP, the effective lens position? So I think already said that you have to monitor your post-operative refraction for each type of IOL, for the same type of surgery, for the same type of wound, for the same location of wound. And the ELP is actually related to, why we need personalized constant is because each one's surgery is a bit unique. When you have, you tend to make a smaller capsular axis as a habit, the lens will tend to get pushed behind. So the ELP that is calculated by the formula is for an IOL in the back, but here if it shifts a little further posterior, the resultant refraction will be hypermetropic. If there's a larger axis, there can be a push forward and therefore it can be myopic. So in each one's hands, this could be different. And that is why there should be a personalization, and you optimize the ELP, as I said, based on the post-operative refraction, post-operative results. Sir, anything else to add? Dr. Madhushekar?
You explained beautifully. I will just add one more concept to this. So there are two ideas. For small practice like mine, I can only personalize the A constant. So when I have data from one doctor, we are personalizing the A constant to his outcomes. When you have pooled data, a group of data from many doctors, you are optimizing the A constant with pooled data. They both are slightly different. So personalizing on the A constant will work for one single doctor. Optimizing will work for large numbers and a group of doctors.
How to calculate IOL power in a silicon filled eye if there is no SO mode? Does axial length point into 0.7 to 0.73 provide approximate axial length? It need not be there. I mean, in the optical biometers, you've got the silicon oil mode. And this axial length correction is basically the ratio of the velocity in silicon oil versus in fluid in the normal eye. So this 0.71, it will give you a good correction, approximate good correction of the axial length. Sir, anything more to add? Dr. Madhushekar, anything to add? Tamil see anything to add?
Silicon oil and normal phakic eye, the difference will be 0.7 millimeters, sir.
0.71. Yes, that's a ratio of velocity between.
Without silicon mode, it will be take -2 or 3 days after post-op surgery.
Mr. Prabhu, I think this one is for you. How can I upload a software to my new A-scan?
Basically, the company persons will take care of that, sir. If anything new upgradations have come, for example, earlier Tomy doesn't have Barrett and all. Now the new optical biometer Tomy, now they have a Barrett and all. So basically, when they come for a service or AMC maintenance, the software will be keep on updating. Actually.
And sir, the next one also for you. What is the proper calibration for Acutum A-scan? I think a brand of A-scan.
So mostly for all the A-scans, they will be having in the side or in the back of the A-scan, they have a calibration eye in that. Actually, they will mention the power in that. What is the means expected axial length it is going to provide actually. So they need to do it actually like a regular thing.
Okay, somewhere, yes. So what is the best formula choice for black iris eye? And from 4th generation formula, how SRKT average axial length, which formula type is best for any study? Sir, Ramesh sir?
Very difficult to answer because all the formulas have a formula error. And if you can share the details of the study sometime in future, we can look into what may be useful for you. And for black iris and white iris, I think it should not really matter as far as the measurement is concerned. But the rays will make a difference. For example, in India and China, the SRK2 gives much better results than SRKT because we get a myopic results if you use SRKT. This is a well-known fact.
In IOL power calculation, what is the accurate refractive difference to be taken towards myopic or hyperopic side? My answer would be that it was preferable to be on the myopic side so that at least a little nearer would be better if we go wrong. Or if we go hyperopic, we may still come closer to emmetropia. Sir, your take?
Always take the first myopic value. That is always safest.
Like in Arvind Madurai, we used to keep target reflection of minus 0.2. So minus 0.2, so that it will go towards minus side only. Sometimes if you take it at 0, target reflection at 0, then sometimes it will take us towards positive side also. So we have kept it as a target reflection of minus 0.02. 0.2.
And I would like to add that when we took up the Barrett's U2 for all the cases, we found that it was going slightly more myopic. So we changed it to minus 0.1. A target of minus 0.1.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes.
So patients with other comorbidity like solar keratopathy and pterygium, how would you achieve best biometry? Tamarasi Munima, and you? Pterygium. In case of pterygium.
Astigmatism more than 2 diopter, the keratometry not correct, sir. So after pterygium excision, we do IOL power calculation.
Yes, you do a calculation 1 month at least after pterygium surgery, especially if you are getting tonicity, if you're getting a cylinder in the keratometry.
Yes.
For corneal opacities, which are preventing you from taking the correct keratometry measurement, you can use the other eye measurements, or you can use a standard of 44 to 45 for calculating your IOL power, which is the average K, normal K.
Yes.
When there is a situation to when questions are being typed, this goes everywhere. If there's a situation of IOL exchange, how do you counsel the patient? So it means we have got a wrong power and we have to counsel the patient. Dr. Madhushekar, Ramesh sir, anything?
Sir, I am not, I don't remember doing this, but best always to tell the truth to the patient and say they'll see much better if the lens is exchanged, and do it free of cost and spend a lot of time and convince them.
Yes, sir. Yes. In a hypermature cataract due to fixation, it is difficult to do keratometry and A scan. What can be done, sir?
For mature cataract, the fixation is very important, sir. Ask them to see the light for axial length measurement. Ask them to see the probe light. Otherwise, we use other eye fixation and take 2 to 3 times measurement axial length. Compare with other examiner also.
Yes, yes. 2 people, 2 machines is good. Is there any significance of LR marking to reduce the post-op cylinder power? I guess LR means limbal relaxing incision, you mean? Then yes, of course, because it should be on the correct axis for the correct arc, and everything should be properly done according to a nomogram. Then advanced pterygium, of course, it's been answered. You have to operate on the pterygium first if it is going to intervene in your IOL power. There can be change even in the basic IOL power because of K difference. So this question is for Ms. Tamarasi. Are there any special techniques for biometry measurements in infants?
For more than 3 years, we have to try with optical biometry, sir.
Infant.
Infant, we have to axial length measurement in applanation.
It will be done under general anesthesia and with handheld keratometry. Yeah.
So we may have time for 2 more questions, sir.
Okay, so let's the importance of ACD and lens thickness in biometry is important for the newer format. Okay, and because they take, as sir explained, they take more parameters, and for more accuracy, more parameters are needed. Again, for children biometry, what would be the best formula, sir, for children?
I don't do pediatric cataracts. I really don't know, Dr. Shivakumar. So sorry. You must be doing a lot. I would like to hear your thoughts.
I till recently they were using the SRK2 actually. When we started using SRK2 for all adults, SRK2 happens to be good enough. I'm not sure about Barrett anyway. So that is what they are still using.
And the target refraction also we got to change, sir.
Target refraction, again, they will do it according to the age. They will undercorrect so that the child does not become myopic in later age. Yes, these two have different velocities, and you have to get for that. And thank you very much for appreciating this. What formula to use in post-ICL cases? I think when we do an optical biometry, there is not much change. You can use, I think, the Barrett formula for all of these. And an auto IOL master or auto keratometry, which you use for autoref, is good enough for your toric IOLs, even if you don't have an optical biometer. Then I think dryness has already been this thing. ACIOL A constant again is going to is going to be less than for the posterior chamber IOL, and again you can change the constant according to your experience. And the nystagmus has already been answered. About ACIOL, you have to use that particular A scan. This, sir, I'm not sure, sir. When we do biometry in contact biometric sections, A scan, 21.97 mm changes to 20.03 gives difference of 1.5 diopters. Please explain reason behind it, sir. Just we take this as a last question. When we do biometry in contact biomedics, axial length 21.97 mm changes to 22.03, and it gives a difference of 1.5 diopters. Please explain reason behind it. I can only say if you're doing contact, there can be a corneal compression, reducing your axial length. It can go by more than 0.3 mm also. Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, I have a very interesting answer. I'm not sure it's the truth. See, when you are using SRK2 formula, 22 is a cutoff point. When you have a value of 21.99 mm, it will be SRK plus 2. When it is 22.01 mm, just a minor difference. When it jumps 22, the formula will add one more diopter. So this 0.5 diopter is because of the actual change in the eye and what are the measurement. But the 1 diopter is because the formula jumps, because you have crossed the threshold of 22 mm.
Oh,
That's
yes.
one of the theoretical weaknesses of using SRK2.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. That was
Very true, sir. It's very true, sir.
Yes. He's asking us a trick question, I think.
Yeah, yes,
He
sir.
knows the answer.
And you win. When to use Barrett formula, if you ask me always. What do you say, sir? If you're doing it in optical biometry and you're having all the parameters that Barrett wants, then I think that's the best one to use. Is it 0.9 or 0.71? It is 0.71. And for infant, special formula is as such not available. And yes, what variations to consider if implanting lens in the sulcus AC or using an iris claw lens posterior and anterior? Yes. So we'll have to reduce the power. For sulcus, I can quickly tell you there's a rule of 9. Less than 9, 8, don't change anything. From 9 to 17, you subtract 0.5. From 18 to 26, this is again 9, add 9 to it. So you subtract 1, and more than that, you subtract 1.5. This is a rule of the thumb for the rule of 9 for sulcus. For anterior chamber lens, it would be -2. For an iris claw, it will be around -1 to -1.5. For posterior, 1.5. I think Mr. Prabhu is answering that. Please look at his answer also. And if same-day pterygium and cataracts are done, what could be the correct formula used? I presume that there is no toricity and you're not putting a toric IOL. Then I think, and it is not interfering with the keratometry, then I think you can use whatever you are using. Sir, anything for that?
No, you're absolutely right. If it is a high irregular astigmatism, fellow by K will be used.
And if the patient has hyperventral cataract, how approximately can we expect and what formula can be used to get more accurate result? Because surely there will be residual refractive error. Sir, Dr. Madhushekar, see anything?
According to the axial length, the formula will be set.
Yes, you can use it according to that. Usually this will be on the ultrasound, so you can use offer Q for small eyes, SRKT for the rest.
I also find that they tend to give a more myopic results. All the hypermature swollen lens, I prefer to go and give choose a first plus instead of the first minus.
The first minus, okay. Yeah. And this one, sir, I'm not sure how to calculate IOL power using ortho K lens patient.
I have not seen a patient using ortho K in Chennai till now, so I have no idea.
I have also no experience with this type of a thing. So I think we have answered all questions, though we were allowed only 2.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think all of us have been very lucky to have Dr. Shivkumar facilitating because he ensured that all questions were answered. Thank you very much, sir. And that brings us to the end of this webinar. And I'm very, very grateful to all the speakers today for having taken the time, taking us through all the minute aspects of biometry and how we can bring quality, safety, and continuous improvement in biometry. We thank all the participants who stayed on till the very end and the many who joined us in between. I think all of us have taken a lot away from this webinar. Thanks once again to the panelists. Also invite you to take a look at AuroSiksha and the many resources that are there. We will be posting the recording of this webinar online on the AuroSiksha's YouTube channel, and we will share the links with all of you. We will shortly be sharing a short survey, a short feedback survey, and I request all participants to fill that in. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. All the best in bringing quality to biometry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Prabhu sir.
Thank you very much.
Hi, sir.